Ciao a tutte, ciao a tutti. I wanted to give you a brief orientation in preparation for the course. I know several of you are already underway, but I wanted to give you more information that is more course specific. You will have found by this time our page on Canvas where you have the basic links to access the most important course resources. So the welcome page should look something like this. Then you have a link that allows you to see other links for the syllabus, for the course schedule, for the group assignments, the orientation video that I mentioned before, and that will be updated once this recording is finished. And then the Google Drive folder, you won't be using that much for now. If you click on this link that is course materials, it'll take you to a page that looks something like this, but because this is the instructor's version, you can't see what the materials are. But by now, I think most of you have seen that you have been charged a course fee, which covers access for one term for Avanti, the Connect platform, which includes the digital version of the textbook. And then once you have made your decision there, we will talk about it here in a sec when we go over the syllabus. Once you have chosen whether to accept that charge and use that automatic access, or if you choose to purchase a code otherwise, after you have done that and you have created your account, you will go to this second link, McGraw-Hill Connect. Again, this is the instructor's page, so it won't show you what it actually looks like, but I think by now most of you have accessed it. So returning to home, let's go to the syllabus first. Once you click on the syllabus link, it'll take you here to this digital syllabus on Google Docs, which gives you first my contact information. Here you have my information in the Fairfax campus, but as many of you already know, I am currently away in Rome as academic director of Masoning Rome. So on that, the best way to communicate with me and the official way to communicate with me is email. Use always your official GMU account and check it regularly because I might send messages and you need to always be checking that. Since I am away and because this is an online course, a faster, perhaps preferable method of communication is the group chat that I've created on WhatsApp. If you click on this link, you should be able to join it. You can download the application on your mobile device if you don't already have it. This is very convenient for this course since I will be abroad for the whole summer. That way you can, if it's something quick, you can send me a text and I can reply to you, or you can let me know that you sent me an important email and I will do my best to get to it as soon as possible. And this is important, of course, because I will check my email during business hours between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. But I am in Rome through the end of June and I will be in Beirut through the end of July. So the WhatsApp group chat is a great way to contact me. I think some of you have already used it. This is the course information. The most important part of it, of course, is that this is an online asynchronous course, which means that it is fully online. It does not meet, there are no virtual sessions or otherwise. So as probably you already know, this is primarily a language course through which you are going to develop your ability to speak, understand, read, and write in Italian, in addition to learning about aspects of Italian culture. In this course, Italian 110, which is the equivalent of Italian 101 and Italian 102 combined, we will cover chapters 1 through 7 of Gianna Saschi and Diane Musumeci Avanti, the 5th edition. By the end of this course, you will be able to speak and understand Italian in simple conversations with your partners, with me as your instructor, and with native speakers who are sensitive to the linguistic skills of second language learners. You'll be able to read short text, you will be able to write short texts, and you will be working with authentic materials. You will, of course, also demonstrate a basic familiarity with vocabulary um, and with grammar that allows you to speak about familiar topics of personal interest and in the basic tenses of present and past. And as I mentioned, you will also learn about selected aspects of Italian culture. In addition to these course resources, you will also want to be exposed to Italian as much as possible. And as your schedule allows, there are so many platforms that you can use to engage with Italian content, such as Instagram. And if you're interested in pursuing this avenue, a great way to get started is to follow our account at Mason Italian and see which accounts we follow. We have curated a selection of accounts to follow that would be of potential interest to students such as yourselves. No matter what your interests are, you should be able to find something there. In addition to accounts that are dedicated to language learning and study. Of course, YouTube is also a great resource because you can find an infinite number of videos, of tutorials, of anything you want to learn about Italian language and culture you can find on YouTube, both in English and in Italian, and obviously in other languages. Netflix, lots of films on Netflix, and then my favorite, these two, Rai Play and Mediaset, which are online platforms for television programming. They do require a VPN, and I recommend ExpressVPN, which is the one I use personally. So those are the links. Anything that is in blue and bold is, of course, a link that you can follow. So if you click on this link, for example, that'll take you to the Italian Studies Program page when you can find out about our course offerings for a given semester. You can find out about Mason in Rome, which is a program that I'm directing this summer here in Rome, starting in a couple of days. You can find out about the minor in Italian studies, more on this later, learn about some of our alumni and what they have gone on to do. And you can also, of course, meet the faculty. I'm, of course, Professor Gonzalez Chavez. I'm an Italian program coordinator. My colleague, Professor Cristina Marie Olson, who is a specialist in medieval and early modern literature, such as I am. And then, of course, our wonderful colleague, Francesca Santoro, who also teaches some courses for us on a part-time basis. You can learn more about us and about the courses we are teaching in a given semester, our interests, and so on. And then, of course, you can learn about other opportunities in Italian, such as the awards that we give on a yearly basis for outstanding performance in Italian, scholarships as well that we award for those students who are Mandarin Italian, and so on and so forth. You can click on the Mason Italian Instagram page. It will take you here where you can see what our students do over the course of the year. And in this case, you can see that the content that we are featuring is the content that students created last summer here in Rome with me. So you can learn more about their daily experiences, look at all the photos that they shared and so on. And here you can also find announcements about any special activities and other events that we have going on during the regular academic year. So follow us to stay in touch with what's happening with the Italian program. And also we have a YouTube channel. Here you can see some of the work that students are doing. Here you'll also find all the review sessions for this course and any other tutorials that I create to help you along. And also, as you can see here, there are some playlists with additional language tutorial, helpful content that you might want to look through. And if you go to the playlist, you can see here the majority of the content deals with our program last summer. So if you're interested in considering studying abroad next summer, you should look through those projects where you can hear about the program and about students' experience from the students themselves. So returning to this, Let's go on to course materials. As I said, you have been charged a course fee that allows you automatic access to Connect which is the digital platform for Avanti fifth edition. This is the same book that we will use from the elementary to the intermediate level. So you will need this if you have to go on to Italian 202. You will be charged this course fee per term, but if you plan on taking further courses up to 202, perhaps if it's a degree requirement, then you might consider purchasing just a 72-day access code directly from the publisher. If you go there, you will see that you can purchase Connect for 180 days for $114 or for 720 days for $201. So you might want to consider that if you're planning on going on beyond this summer. Keep in mind that you do have to decide whether to keep the access that was billed automatically to you, to your student account, or to opt out and have that money refunded to you. You have to do that by June 3rd, I believe, 3rd or 4th. Grade distribution. So 50% of your grade is going to come from homework. This is, of course, logical since this is an online course that requires you to do a lot of the work independently. 25% will be the chapter tests, so 7 tests, 7 chapters. 5% will be the compositions, which are very short, simple writing assignments. 10% will be your oral final exam, and then 10% your oral final exam. The majority of this will be done again directly on the Connect platform. The grading scale is the typical scale for Mason. There should be nothing that I need to explain there. And now let's go on to talk more about the categories, the major categories of your grade and what they entail. So the bulk of the work is, of course, the homework. This homework consists, as you will see, from readings from the textbook, from the ebook that comes included with your Connect access. And so after those readings, after you study those pages, then you'll go on to do activities that correspond to it on the platform, on Connect. It's a great thing to do for this course as you're working between the activities and Connect and the readings is to download the app Read Anywhere. This application allows you to download the ebooks and you can have it with you either on your phone, on your tablet, and you can use it to refer back and forth whenever you are working through the activities. So I recommend that you download that and install it and download the ebook. So I will release assignments for a given week every Sunday at midnight. And then you will have activities due every day of that week. This gives you some flexibility while also motivating you to work on a constant, regular basis, spread the work out to maximize the opportunity to acquire the material. Language, as I mentioned in the email that I sent to the class, is not a discipline that allows you to cram and learn successfully. So you want to spread your work out as much as possible. Ideally, you'll do a little bit of work every day, although I understand that you have other responsibilities. So for that reason, if you need to, you can work a little bit ahead of schedule, but keep in mind that our daily deadlines and there will be a 10% penalty for late work submitted late. It will be accepted up to a week after the deadline. So keep that in mind. So you will do those readings. It's very important not to skip the readings because, let's see. Okay. Just to go as an example. It's not allowing me to do it. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's not allowing me to open it. Well, this is what the Connect platform looks like from the student's point of view. If you click here on menu, the most important thing you have is, of course, the to-do list, which shows you what activities are due, what the deadlines are. The start date will be, again, as I said, every Sunday. The time would be midnight. I'm 6 hours. There's a 6 hour time difference between Rome and Fairfax. So that's why these times look different. But for you, you should say 12 a.m. And the deadline, the time should be 11:59 p.m. So you will see you will see the assignments for the given week. As you can see here, you can see everything that's going to be due up until June 1st. And as you can see, there are deadlines for every day of the week. So be mindful of those. As I said, you can work a little bit ahead to give you some flexibility, but you want to make sure you do not get behind, and you definitely want to avoid cramming because that will not only be very challenging given the amount of material and the amount of work that it involves, but also is not conducive to learning. And then another very important function is, of course, the results. Once you click here, if you click on the under results and then click on the class name, then it'll take you to this page, which is not loading. Is it loading? So it's not loading, perhaps because I'm in private mode, but I can try and open it again. Let's see if we can open it on Safari. It would look something like this. Here it is. So it would look like this, where you see compositions are 5% of your grade, homework 50%, and it will give you your average here. I haven't obviously tried any of the activities, but if I had, it would have here the percentage that you have earned so far. So here it gives you the breakdown of the gradebook categories, how much they are worth, and then it'll give you here your progress, how much you have, what your average is up to that point. For homework, and yeah, for homework, there are multiple, actually unlimited attempts. So you can do and redo any activity until you get the score you desire. Uh, don't worry if you get a low score your first try and then you get a perfect score your second and third. The gradebook automatically will record only the best attempt, as you can see here. So it will tell you, it will record the highest score. And let's see if it'll let me open an activity. Yeah, it will. No, it's not. So I'm working between multiple browsers, so that's why I seem to be having trouble, but you shouldn't have these issues. If you do, the easiest thing to do is to just close the browser and reopen it or log in and out, and that usually resolves the issue. I actually never encountered the issues that I'm encountering today. Occasionally, I will have to reload or, as I said, log in or log out. Let's go on. If you do encounter any technical issues, unfortunately, I'm not able to help you beyond what I just told you. Log in, log out, reopen, close and reopen your browser, try a different browser, perhaps start and restart your computer. That's about the extent of the technical support that I can offer you. But if you click here, and you will be able to access tech support from within Connect, then you can reach out to McGraw-Hill directly. Their tech support team is excellent. The best thing to do is, of course, the live chat, or you can also give them a phone call. But you can try searching by the topic. But I usually just go straight to the live chat to have them walk me through whatever issue I'm having. So again, as I said, you'll want to read the section that is assigned. So if you're working, let's say, on this week's Strategia de Comunicaciones, so that's pages 4 through 8, you'll want to open the ebook. Go ahead and open it. I'll launch the ebook. Okay, it allows me to launch it without going into the course. Okay, so you'll want to go to those pages. So let's say Strategia di Comunicazione for chapter 1. You'll want to read everything, so go through the readings. This one is the instructions edition, so it has a lot. All these texts will not be in yours, but you want to go through it, read the explanations, play.
Italians always greet each other when they meet on the street, when they enter a store.
Take advantage of the fact that this is a media-rich ebook. So this is super important, especially for a course such as this one that is asynchronous. So you'll want to take advantage of those recordings for to hear pronunciation, to hear and emulate the pronunciation of the language. There's lots of video activities. Some of these are already built into the activity on Connect directly, but they are also available. They are also embedded here in the ebook. So you want to read through all those sections. Do your best to understand the material, and once you're done with the reading, then you can go and go into the Connect platform and start the activities. So let's see if it allows me to sign in. So now I have done the reading, then I can go into the first activity. And of course, as you can see, there's you can access the ebook from here directly. So that's it'll tell you, okay, read about this section in case you need a refresher. If you have downloaded the ebook onto your phone or a tablet, you can refer to it that way, or else you can do the split screen functionality that I really like to use when I'm working on something like this, that allows you to seamlessly move between the activity and the corresponding textbook explanation. As I said, there's a lot of there's some overlap because the material is walking you through the material to enable you to learn it as you go independently. Let's continue. So you want to do the reading, then start the corresponding activities and move back and forth between the ebook and Connect as necessary. I've already mentioned that you have unlimited attempts to review and correct your work. There are a few types of activities that don't allow you to do that. For example, if there's only 2 answer choices, then you only have 1 attempt. But generally speaking, you have unlimited attempts. And as I said, you can submit homework late up to a week with a deduction of 10% per day. This highlighted section is super important. This is a language class, so speaking practice is essential. And it is a challenge in a course that is online and asynchronous. So a lot of effort should be devoted to the limited but essential speaking activities that have been assigned to you. This will be done in the form of video recordings where you will work with a partner to complete activities. The group assignments are here. If you click on that link, it'll take you to the group assignments page where you have a recap of the instructions. And these are the tentative assignments. I'm still waiting on to hear back from a few students before I can confirm the final assignments. But these are the preliminary assignments. As soon as those are finalized, I will send you an email so that you know, and you can contact your partner right away. For these activities, In addition to the pair activities, there's also some discussion boards where the majority of them are working in pairs. And you need to plan ahead. You need to talk to your email, text, or email your partner to set up a time to do the activity carefully ahead of the deadline, ideally. You can record directly on Connect, or you can record on Zoom and then upload the recording on Connect. You can record on your phone also, whatever way you want to do it, but just make sure that I'm able to see both partners and that I can see who's speaking. I can see you clearly and I can hear you clearly. Some important tips to ensure that you get full credit is to read the instructions very carefully, read the instructions, discuss them with your partner, make sure you understand them, and look carefully at the examples. Uh, be very thorough. So if there's, let's say, a list with 10 items, make sure that each partner goes through all 10 of the items, switching roles, alternating whatever way makes the most sense. And make sure that your recordings are not too short. They should be about 3 to 5 minutes in length. This might be more difficult at the beginning, but just make sure they're not too short. Don't just do one example and then leave it there. Make sure that you are thorough and that you are taking advantage of this opportunity to practice speaking. Uh, Before you make a recording, you'll want to work on the activity together with your partner, help each other with pronunciation, help each other with grammar. Once have figured out the activity, you want to practice going through it a couple of times until you can both get through it fluently and confidently. Once you have done all of that, then you can make a recording, make sure your camera is on, and you are in a quiet space with good lighting. So all that work is important to do so that you're not on camera trying to figure things out and making a really long video where there is nothing really happening. So make sure you practice, figure out the activity, figure out the instructions, go through it, practice a couple of times that you're comfortable with it, then make your recording. That way, it'll go smoothly and you'll get all the credit. It'll make my life easier when grading so that I'm not sitting through a long recording where nothing happens really. So once you have done that and once you have made your recording, make sure to review it. If necessary, you might want to re-record before submitting it. But essentially, these are the steps. So read this text carefully so that you understand exactly what is expected to ensure you receive full credit. This work, again, is super important because not only do these activities count toward your homework, to the homework portion of the grade, but they will also help you prepare for the oral final, which is 10% of your grade. If you have any problems working with your partner, please contact me right away so we can figure out a solution. And again, I remind you that if your submissions do not meet these standards, do not follow these criteria, then you will not earn full credit. Another major component of your grade, of course, are the tests. There will be 7 chapter tests, on one on each chapter. They will have strict proctoring enabled, but you will have unlimited time to do them. So these should not be too much of a challenge, though they will require you to of course, devote time to studying in addition to the time you will have devoted working through the chapter. In preparation for these tests, there will be recordings of review sessions. So the first 4 chapters are already available and they are linked on the syllabus. You can see review session recording. So those are about an hour and a half sessions where I go through the material and explain it in case there are any lingering doubts and to help you prepare for the exam. Again, these are worth 50, that's not 55, 25% of your final grade. And late submissions will be accepted for up to a week with a deduction of 10% per day. On to compositions, which as I mentioned, are 5% of your grade. These are short writing assignments. These are done after the chapter test. And these activities are very carefully guided, helping you learn strategies on how to write in a language that you are just now starting to learn. It will walk you through the steps pre-writing. It will also guide you through the post writing. So it will remind you, check your grammar, check your spelling, check to make sure you follow the instructions and so on. So these are very carefully crafted to make it very easy for you to produce very simple elementary level text. So these are not going to be anything like what you write in your native language, simple baby sentences. Think of the kind of writing that students do, elementary students do when they are first learning how to write. Keep it simple. Again, use only the material that is covered in the textbook. Do not use any online dictionaries. Do not use translators. Do not use any form of AI because those constitute violations of the Mason Honor Code, are very easy to catch, and they will result in an automatic grade of 0 on the assignment or activity. 0 indicates the compositions, and they may be reported to the honor board. So please don't do that. Again, very easy for me to tell when a student has used these resources which are not permitted. And again, automatic grade of 0. So please don't do that. As before, late submissions are accepted for up to a week after the deadline with a deduction of 10% per day. The oral final, you will take only the students who are taking the course to fulfill a degree requirement will take a brief oral exam, 5 to 10 minutes, which will allow me to assess their speaking and comprehension skills. The guidelines and scoring rubric are here. If you click on the link, it will take you to what are the topics, how do I evaluate them, and so on. And because this is an online course, they will be done either via Zoom or possibly on Connect. I am waiting for departmental guidance so that we can plan ahead, but it will be either Zoom by appointment with me, or it might be done directly with directly on Connect. Missed or late submissions will not be accepted unless they are permitted by the university's policies. In that case, there will still be a deduction of 10% per day at my discretion. And then, of course, the written final, it will be done on Connect. It will be based on the first 7 chapters. And it will be due not on this date, it will be due on the last day of the term, which for our purposes is the 26th. So it will be due by Saturday, July 26th at 11:59 p.m. Again, a reminder about the honor code. You're expected to be familiar with the Mason honor code, and all the work that you do for the course, exams, tests, homework, everything must be your own work done independently without any help and without the use of any resources that are not on the syllabus. If you have any doubts or any questions, you can reach out to me for clarification. But just make sure you abide by the honor code, in particular when it comes to writing, whether it's a short sentence as part of an activity or on a test, or in the case of a slightly longer assignment, like a composition in which the focus is writing, make sure that you do not use online translators, online dictionaries. You don't use AI to complete the assignment. Again, any evidence, however minor, which is very easy for me to identify, will result in a grade of 0 on the question, activity, or assignment. And as I mentioned before, it may be referred to the Office of Academic Integrity for Adjudication by the Honor Committee. And penalties can range from an F in the course to potential suspension and, in serious cases, expulsion. So again, for the purposes of this course, especially when it comes to writing, keep it simple. Think about baby sentences, very simple, using just the vocabulary and the structures that we have covered up to that point in the course. Beyond that, here's an outline of the study web program I'm currently preparing to lead here in Rome, Mason in Rome. And it gives you an overview of all that it entails. It allows you to take 2 courses, language at any level, and a culture course in English. This summer I'm teaching Dante's Inferno, in addition, of course, to all the incredible artistic and cultural patrimony that the city of Rome has to offer. We also have a cooking class, and students also have the opportunity to travel independently during the weekend to other important sites within the Lazio region where Rome is located, or to other major Italian cities like Florence and Naples, which are very easy to reach from Rome via the high-speed train. So it gives you all the details. These are the costs for this summer. If you're interested, be looking out for the information on the next year's program in September. Here we have an outline of the requirements for the Italian minor. Again, if you're interested in Italian language and culture, it's a great way to engage with both through the Italian minor that has either the focus on language, but again, not separable from culture, and then with more emphasis on history and culture, which allows you to explore Italy while doing more coursework in English in departments outside of the Italian program. If you're interested, you can discuss with my colleague, Professor Olson, or with me, although I guess this might be too early, but rather it's never too early to start. So if you're looking for a minor, if you're interested in Italian culture, you should definitely consider the Italian minor. Lots of opportunities through the minor, in addition to the awards and scholarships that I mentioned before when I was showing you the program page. There are also many opportunities for internships. We have students complete internships in Italy 2 times, I think. No, for the past 3 years, actually. For the past 3 years, we've had students go to or come to Italy to work as English assistants as they work to improve their Italian, helping Italian students improve their English. And there are many other opportunities that can allow you to come to Italy to experience the culture, to live in the country. For example, we just received an email today from the Italian embassy telling us about full scholarships for students. So there's lots of opportunities for students minoring in Italian to not only learn more about Italy, about its language, about its culture, but also to engage in more practical use of their skills through internships, as I mentioned, and other opportunities. Then just a couple more things to discuss. If you require any kind of accommodation to ensure successful learning, please contact me right away if you haven't already done so. And finally, for those of you who are taking the course as auditors, if you are not taking the course to fulfill a degree requirement, we're of course very happy to have you, but just keep in mind this policy. This is not an in-person course, so the first point does not count or does not apply in this case, but the second one does. Yeah, especially for this course, the second one does, which is the work that is completed by auditors, homework tests and exams. If it requires manual grading, it will not be graded as the focus is, of course, on getting timely feedback to the students taking the course for a grade and to fulfill a degree requirements. So please keep that policy in mind, and I hope you understand and are able to abide the policy given the reasons for it. A quick look at the course schedule. Again, as you can see, the material is divided by week. So in this column, you have the content, essentially the readings from the textbook. In this column, you have the activities that you'll be doing on Connect. You have all the page numbers. And in some cases, as for example, starting chapter 3, though I might go back and see if I can add some more on the other chapters, you will find a video lesson, which is which are short video lessons that have been called, that have been selected and called from YouTube to supplement the course materials. But do keep in mind as you are working through the textbook, for example, once you get to a grammar point, let's see, maschile, femminile. Yeah, it's just too simple. Let's see. Let's go to something like adjective agreement, chapter 2. Here we are. So in addition to the activity that walks you through well, in addition to the reading that explains everything in English and the activities on Connect that walk you through the activity to familiarize yourself with the structure, there are also embedded in the textbook these grammar tutorials that explain the grammar to you in English. So these are super important.
Adjective agreement with nouns. Today, Sarah and Elise are sightseeing. They are visiting Fiesole, a small nearby hill town that has a breathtaking view of Florence. Sarah is describing the view, while Elise clearly has something else on her mind. Wir einmal used adjective.
So these grammar tutorials are essentially mini grammar lessons that introduce the grammar point in context and inductively, so you will see how it works, and it will try to get you to figure out how the grammar works before giving you the explanation. So these videos, you will find them super helpful when you start doing grammar, the more complicated grammar. So I think, I'm not sure which one is the first one, but yeah, once the grammar starts getting a bit more complex, then you'll want to make sure to use these video tutorials, which are an incredible resource, especially for a course such as this one, where there is no classroom instruction. Beyond that, another thing you should be aware of is the vocabulary at the end of the chapter. Especially for an online course such as this one, you will find this very helpful because it will have a summary of the vocabulary, and most importantly, it will have a recording which will allow you to
Domande ed espressioni.
A casa. A casa mia.
It'll allow you to hear the language, and so you can use it to both check your pronunciation or to emulate the pronunciation, especially because not all the vocabulary that you see summarized here will be pronounced for you in the course of the explanations and the activities. So you want to always come back. This is a great resource. When in doubt on how to pronounce a word, come to the vocabulary section and check the corresponding recording. Great resource for this course, for online courses in general. And I believe, is there anything else? As I said, the review sessions are here. So these are recordings of me going through the content of the chapter and explaining it to help you prepare for tests. But as you can see here, you have also indications of which activities will require working with a partner. So that allows you to plan ahead. And we can see that the first one is strategy of the comunicazione 1. So again, you'll want to keep up with the deadlines on Connect so that you are prepared to take care of these activities that require working with a partner. Let's see. That require working with a partner ahead of the deadline. And while I'm here, you can see that there's, in some cases, you need to, sometimes you can jump around, but in some cases you have to complete one part before you can do the second part because they are related and sequential. And other times there will be activities that will allow you to skip them, but if you do skip them, you cannot come back to them. So make sure you'll have a pop-up window that will give you the warning. Do you want to skip it or not? So don't skip it. if you're not allowed to return to it. So let's see, I think this is. So the activities are ordered, sequenced, and selected in such a way as to reflect as much as possible the kind of activities you would be doing in the classroom. See, you saw that warning. It allows you to both experience the kind of activities that we do in the classroom and then it will include the activities that you would do to review those concepts. So it's very important to follow and to do them in sequence as much as possible. This is the first example of a video activity. So the settings, there must be something wrong with my settings. Okay. So this is an example of having to take care of technical. Okay, here it is. So so you look at the post a video, include greetings, saying your name and where you're from, following the models. You can see, ciao, mi chiamo Rita, sono di Chicago, and you will make and post a video in which you do the same. Here, start activity. Let's skip that for now. Great. So yes, the first one is not a partner chat, it's a voice board, but we can just leave it that way. Let's see. Okay. Otherwise, when you actually have activities that involve working with your partner, you will see this in yellow in the calendar, includes partner chat. As you can see, you will be working at a pace of 1 chapter per week. So this is an intensive course. It's 6 credits. It's equivalent of 2 semesters combined into 8 weeks. So it's very intensive. Make sure you keep up with your work daily as much as possible. Don't get behind and don't cram. So the pace will definitely pick up starting next week, and especially week 3, where you will have 1 week to complete the whole of the chapter. We'll cover 7 chapters. As I said, you'll need to learn the present and the past tense, and then these familiar topics such as describing, talking about what you like to do in your free time, your family, talking about food, the table, talking about clothing, fashion, talking about the weekend. So quite a significant amount of material and work. So please be disciplined, be organized, stay on top of it. If possible, stay ahead, okay? So I am here as a resource. If you need any help, you can set up an appointment to chat via Zoom, or you can always text me through the group chat, or you can send me an email. Again, because I am away this summer, the group chat is the fastest way to get in touch with me. But any of those ways of communication work, of course. So I wish you a successful term. I am here to help you as much as possible and to support your learning. And please do reach out at any point. Saluti da Roma, and a presto.